Purpose of this video is to see how to do some data analysis in Google Sheets with a large data set. And we're going to see specifically how standard deviation changes when we add outliers to a data set. So the first thing we want to do is click on this box that's empty here with this table of data, and then hold down the mouse button and highlight all the data. Once it's highlighted, you can right click and click on copy, or click on Control-C on your keyboard. Then scroll up to this resource button here to open Google Sheets. Once you're in Google Sheets, you'll open a new blank sheet. Click on the first box, right click, paste to add your data. And it says that we want to find the standard deviation, sample standard deviation for this data set, and give our answer 2 more decimal places than the original data. So the original data goes out to 1 decimal place for most of the values, so we are going to give the answer with 3 decimal places. So we can use Google Sheets to find that standard deviation. So it's sample standard deviation. We'll click on the box next to this one and type in equals stdev.s for sample standard deviation. It would be .p if it was population. In parentheses, we have data that goes from box A2 to box H7. So we're including this empty box here. There's no number in there, so it's not going to change our standard deviation. And that way we make sure that we're highlighting all the other boxes that have data in them. Close parentheses and enter sample standard deviation. If we round to 3 decimal places, would be 8.367. 8.367. Then it says, well, what would the standard deviation be if we added in this outlier of 112.1. How does that change the sample standard deviation? So we'll go to our empty box and type in 112.1, and notice that our standard deviation changes to 11.695 if we round it to 3 decimal places. 11.695. That would be our new standard deviation. And notice that it does go up when we add in the outlier. That's because standard deviation measures the spread of the data from the mean in the data set. So when we add a data value that's further away from the mean, then we're going to have a bigger standard deviation because there's a bigger spread in the data. And then with the third part, we're adding an even more extreme value of 150.6. So we'll change it. Instead of 112.1, we'll change it to 150.6, and then see, if you hit enter, you can see the standard deviation change again, this time to 16.108. We round it, so it's even larger standard deviation, which is what we would expect since we're adding an outlier that's even further from the mean. So that's what you can explain here in this box, is how the standard deviation changes with the outliers that were added to the data set. And that's how you would use Google Sheets to find the standard deviation of a large data set.